Look out. Here come former SportsCenter anchor Bob Stevens, esteemed basketball coach Rich Basirico, and Hall of Fame sports writer Curry Kirkpatrick. And someone's going under the bus.
Begin with throwing Curry under the bus right off the top of the show, huh?
Yeah, funny story about that Hall of Fame sports writer.
Curry was supposed to be joining us from Florida. He's having technical difficulties. We'll just put it mildly. Yeah, he is not being eaten by an alligator. He is alive and well, and we have actually talked to him on a couple of occasions, but we are unable to play the internet game with Curry today. So Justin Jarrett, our esteemed producer, is filling in. And Rich, I think we should begin the show with kind of how we ended the first segment of the last show with our Super Bowl predictions, and we'll play off of that. Justin, you got it? The game is pretty simple to figure out, isn't it? I mean, Philadelphia is really good at running it, and they have a really good defense. Kansas City isn't particularly good at anything except figuring out how to win.
Except winning.
So I mean, to me, it's a pretty much as black and white or green and red as you can get in what these two teams know how to do. To me, Philadelphia should win. I think they're the better team. But boy, Kansas City always seems to find a way. So that's where I am on it. I would take Philly in the points, that's for sure.
Okay, so you're taking Philly in the points. Is that your pick?
Well, yeah, I'll take Philly in the points.
What is the points? 2.5? What's the points?
1.5? Is it 1.5?
1.5. It doesn't matter. Whichever team wins will win by more than that. But I think Kansas City will win the game, although Philadelphia should.
Well, come on. That's that's not even getting off the fence.
He's taking both sides. Both sides.
Typical. He does that every week. Rich. Okay, I'll go ahead and pick. I agree with Bob. I think the Eagles actually are the better team. And I think this winning by one score that the Chiefs have done all year, they know how to win. They win by one score. I think it's going to catch up to them, and it's not going to be by more than one score. I think Phillies can beat them by 2 touchdowns.
Got that one.
I think you're right.
Yep.
No, I think you're right. They're the better team if they don't decide to come out and start slinging it around. Philly actually even has better receivers than Kansas City. Their quarterback may not be Mahomes, but they've got their offense is good. Their defense is great.
Well, Philly's got to run Barkley. I mean, they can't get away from that. They have to run Barkley and just run him to death. I mean, he is terrific. He's having one of the best NFL seasons ever for a running back. And
Rich,
they got to milk that cow. They got to really go after. Who are you
picking, Rich?
I'm picking Philly.
All right, that's 3 for Philly. Wow.
Yeah, picking Philly.
There you go. 3 for Philly.
I'm not sure I took Philly, but I'll take it now.
I don't know who you took.
Rich, who did I take?
I'm not sure. I thought you took Philly in the beginning, but towards the end, it sounded like you were going to take Kansas City. I'm not too sure about that, Bob.
I had Philly in the points. I took the points.
You did.
So I won the game that way. But Curry sounded pretty good there. Philly by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he kind of nailed it.
Hit a home run. Hit a home run.
Not here to gloat about it.
I'm not even that sad because I still have my little vial of confetti from last year's Super Bowl. So, it'll be okay.
Yeah, big Chiefs fan. Do the Chiefs fire Andy Reid now? Because he obviously can't win the big one.
They better not.
But it's crazy. They were giving him a hard time after the game. All these analysts were talking about what a poor job they did. They weren't prepared.
It was all the offensive line. That was it.
Of course
the defense didn't even play that badly. Just the offensive line could not stop anyone.
Well, think about this. The 3 touchdowns that Philly scored, one was, 2 of them were off. Well, 3 of them were off turnovers, right? One was an interception for a touchdown. One was an interception to get the ball at the 14-yard line. And one, they sacked him as he's getting ready to throw, and they fumbled. So they take, to Philly's credit, they scored, right, off those 3 turnovers. If they don't have those 3 turnovers, it's a different ball game, right?
Yeah.
It's a totally different game.
Yeah, well, and the defense is going to give up some points at some point if you never get them a first down. Like it's hard if you don't get a break. And so, but it all came down to that offensive line because they didn't even blitz. It was purely
Correct.
just
They
rush
never
and
blitzed.
four.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the
Yeah.
Achilles heel of the Chiefs all season. There was a lot of smoke and mirrors on that offensive line. They were moving people around. Anytime you're moving people from guard to tackle and back to guard and stuff, like
Yeah.
there's something going on there. You're not solid. And so that was always the fear, was that would kind of fall apart, and they weren't ready for that Philly pass rush. It was
Well,
nasty.
what was interesting. Mahomes, as great as the quarterback as he is, I mean, he got happy feet, didn't he? After he got
He
sacked 3 or 4 times, he
well,
really got happy feet. It
but
was
more so,
look.
like, he didn't pop out of the pocket. He
I
kept
know.
just
Stayed
collapsing right
inside.
into the rush. Like,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
odd. It was
It
odd.
Have you
really
guys
was
seen
odd.
the meme that came out after the game of Mahomes, getting tackled, and it said if he was represented by Allstate instead of State Farm, in Allstate he would have been protected from mayhem like this.
Yeah.
They were showing the guys knocking him down.
They would have dropped his coverage because they knew that there was going to be a
They might
danger.
have.
But
Just a great game by
every time
Philly.
he rolled out, he did seem like not that he completed every pass. But when he rolled out, obviously he was out of the protection, but he had more time to throw then.
Yeah.
But I just did not. I mean, I really thought for a guy that is all pro, man, he really got happy feet big
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And he
Yeah, it
didn't rush
was
the ball much. He didn't, usually he would take off and run. He did
right.
that, 3 or 4 times. That was it. Their running
Yeah.
game, how many times did they rush the ball in
He
a
just looked
total?
unsure. He looked
Right.
more unsure than I've
Yeah.
seen him ever, maybe. I
I
mean,
think,
like it
yeah.
was
Well, any quarterback with that kind of problems in the line in front of him is going to be
yeah,
unsure. I mean, that's
right.
not much you
Yeah.
can do. What I thought was kind of interesting in the broadcast is the same thing happened to Tom Brady in that Super Bowl they lost to the Giants. It
Yeah.
wasn't, everybody thinks about the Eli Manning passing and the great catch on the helmet and all that, but the defense just put tons of pressure
Right.
on Brady, and he looked unsure that night. And how often does
Right.
Tom Brady do that? Hey guys, Jalen Hurts becomes the 4th Alabama quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Can you name the other 3?
Namath, clearly.
Joe Namath, yeah.
Yeah.
2 more, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Both legends.
Was Bart Starr an Alabama guy?
Bingo. That's 2.
All right.
Oh, boys, the snake.
Kenny Stabler?
Oh, Kenny Stabler.
Yes.
Snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got him.
So Alabama breaks a tie with Purdue for the second most Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Purdue had 3 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Can you name them?
Cutler.
Bob Greasy.
Yes.
Did Cutler win one? No, he didn't win one.
No.
Oh, he wasn't Purdue.
He didn't go to
was
Purdue
he?
either, I don't think.
Who was I thinking of? Not Cutler. It was somebody else that I was thinking of. Breeze.
Drew Brees is 2. And the one you should get, Justin, the one you should have.
The one I should have.
Number 16, Leonard Dawson.
Oh, yeah.
Lenny
I didn't realize he
Dawson,
went to
yeah,
Purdue.
Lenny
I didn't realize he
Dawson.
went to Purdue. I don't think I had ever
Boilermaker.
realized that. How about that?
Of course, you know which college has won the most Super Bowls as a quarterback.
Michigan.
That would be Tom Brady was 7.
Yeah. Yeah. Michigan. Yeah. Tom Brady alone.
Michigan was 7. All right.
Yeah. Fun trivia.
I got one more little bit of trivia, and then we'll talk about the ads. This is the 9th time this century, since 2000, that one team came west to the Super Bowl and another team came east to the Super Bowl. The winning team, the West Traveler, is now 9-0 in those Super Bowls.
Really?
Remember that for next year.
That is
West
curious.
Yeah, but I thought
Philly
Philly
came west to get to
Okay.
New Orleans. Kansas
Right.
City came east to get to New
Okay.
Orleans. The
9
team
and 0.
that went west is 9-0 in Super Bowls.
Now, why do you
Vegas
think that's
will
true,
remember
Bob?
that.
Why do you think that's true?
I don't have any idea. I think it's completely.
But it's only when they cross. When they cross. If they both go east or west, it's irrelevant.
Yeah. Then that's not a. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Where's the Super Bowl next year?
The East team is gaining an hour, right? The East team
Where
going
is the
west
Super
is
Bowl next
gaining
year? I
at
think it's
least an
Miami
hour.
next year, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be hard for anybody to get there.
Yeah, and in Miami, it'll be one of those.
I don't think
nobody will
anybody's
go
gonna get there
north.
from
We
the
know
east.
that. Best ads. What was your favorite ad?
Oh, man, there were some good ones. Well, Curry said that, first of all, I'll speak for Curry, that he said that we should tell the people that he got lost in a Super Bowl ad. And specifically, it was the Hellman's mayonnaise ad, and he finally convinced Meg Ryan to be with him. So that's why we're missing Curry tonight. There were a couple of really weird ones that I liked because of the weirdness. The man with the cowboy hat head was so bizarre, but I found it super intriguing. Do you know what I'm talking about? His head was shaped like a cowboy hat. That was weird.
I must be getting some popcorn at the time. I didn't see.
It was a strange one. I also this maybe wasn't my favorite, but I did like the one that had kind of all the old advertising icons in it. You know, like the Energizer Bunny and the Duracell, like all the different icons. That one was fun.
You guys tell me what from me, because I don't remember that one either.
Really? Well, let's hear about your favorites. I'll probably agree with you. I can't.
Well, the Nike ad with all the women in it, women stars, was obviously that will be one of the, and that was very cool. I did not know all them all, and it told me I got some work to do. And then the Budweiser ad, you can't beat
like that one.
A horse rolling a keg through.
Right. That's the one I like the most. That was a good one.
That was your favorite.
They're always Budweisers always have good ones, don't they?
Yeah, they're always solid. I like the Bud Light ad with the comedian Shane Gillis, the cul-de-sac boys. When they came in and spiced up those people's party.
Oh yeah.
That one was good. Yeah, that one was good.
That was okay. After the Super Bowl, the Saints hire a coach. They hire Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, who probably, I wonder how much more he made from when they were talking before the Super Bowl to when they talked the morning after, whether he made an extra couple million in the deal. I hope his agent asked for it anyway.
Right.
But he takes over, and the thoughts on that? Anybody under the bus there?
Well, he, obviously this year was a terrific year for Philly. Unbelievable. But a year ago, he was with San Diego. Remember how good San Diego was offensively? They were awful last year. Mm-hmm. They really were. So it's amazing how the NFL, you have one good year.
What have you done for me lately?
Mountaintop. You go right to the mountaintop. They forget about the years in the past. And you do
Coach in Jacksonville, same thing. I mean, he had the one good year in Tampa this year. The year before he was with the Rams, and they were awful. So
correct. That's correct.
I mean,
he's the youngest NFL head coach, 36 years old. That's young. I mean, he did good in Dallas, but
Rich, what were you doing at 36?
I was coaching basketball in high school, but I wasn't the head of an NFL team or an NBA team. Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even
but
close.
You were making your mark.
Yeah,
I think it's probably the right hire right now. I mean, like, he's the guy they should hire. And I think it could be really good. I mean, like you said, he was kind of the wonderkind in Dallas, right? Like
You think they lost anything by waiting? I mean, everybody, they waited.
Yeah.
Did they lose out on somebody better?
Maybe. One of the guys they interviewed was the offensive coordinator with the Giants. Now, tell me why they would interview him.
I don't make it. Is he black? Does he get him around the Rooney
he's
Rule?
Not, no,
okay.
He was in the running for it.
That's why.
He was in the running for it. Give me a reason why you would even consider interviewing him.
I don't know.
I think he's in for a long haul. I think the Saints are going to be down for years.
I think he could be a good coach, but like you said, I mean, most of us could be pretty. I think we could probably be pretty successful offensive coordinators if we had Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert.
And that offensive line.
Yeah, and the offensive line. That's the key, Bob.
I could draw plays for those guys, and they'd probably work. So I don't know. I mean, it's always hard to tell. You don't know, but I think he's got a chance to be a good coach. But much like you talk about a lot, Bob, and I make this point too, like quarterbacks, it's about the situation. You know, Roethlisberger was drafted into a good situation, and other people haven't been. But it's not a great situation for him. So we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
All right, that's enough Super Bowl talk. We will get some more from Curry next week. I'm sure he's got a list of notes that.
Oh yeah, his notepad is full.
When we come back, it's going to be Rich's show from here on out. We're going to talk hoops, college hoops first, NBA after that, or vice versa. We'll figure it out during the break as we bring you back Under the Bus, brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks on Hilton Head Island. Visit hudsonsonthedocks.com. Welcome back to a special edition of Under the Bus, where Rich goes to his library here.
Look at this.
I have to plug in the phone. It's low battery.
This is almost as entertaining as trying to get Curry on here earlier. Can you hear me? Wave at me, Rich. Wave at me, Rich. Wave at me, Rich.
There you go. Rich, you want to go college hoops first or pros?
Probably college hoops.
All right, let's talk college hoops.
College, way more exciting. Well, first of all,
number one and number two lose last week, but the new number one and number two are Auburn and Alabama. Curry could probably tell us when they played as number one and two in football. They're playing as number one and two in basketball.
Right.
What's with that?
I think is it not the first time that's happened in the SEC that the one and two are playing each other during the season?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know. When else would have the SEC had one and two?
I don't know. I think it might be the first time they play Saturday afternoon at 4:00.
Yes, it actually is. I actually wrote that note down. Here I am. Yeah, I got it.
How about that?
Right, first time ever. Right. Look at you.
Yeah, first time ever. 1 and 2.
Well, I think Auburn. I'm not a big Bruce Pearl fan at all.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, he's had good teams, obviously, at Tennessee, now at Auburn. I think Alabama, even though it's at Auburn, could take them down because they are so good scoring. Do you know they scored
in Tuscaloosa?
Yes, but do you know? Oh, it is. It's an hour. Oh, okay,
I believe it is.
Well, Alabama has scored 100 points 17 times this year. That's a lot.
Jeez.
17 times. And the other day, when they beat Texas, they beat 103-80. They made 17 3-pointers. So they're going to try to outscore you without a doubt. They're not really known for their defense, but they've gotten better. But now Auburn's defense is definitely better than Alabama's, but I just think Alabama might be able to outscore them in terms of putting a lot of points on the board. That's their game plan. They're going to get up and down the floor and attack, and they're not going to use the shot clock to their advantage. They're going to take it to you. So we'll see. It's being a fun game to watch on Saturday.
Another reason for Curry to be here, that we could throw Carolina under the bus again. Carolina and Duke both losing against Clemson last weekend. How about that?
How about Clemson making him watch Duke lose? That was kind of cruel for his return. He's such a Dookie, so that had to be kind of painful. But no, awesome to see Dickie V back. That was incredible.
It really was.
But the fact that he got to watch Duke lose in his return did bring me a little bit of joy.
And then Curry got to watch Carolina lose 2 nights later.
There's something wrong with Carolina.
Carolina
does not have it together, man. Davis is not getting the most out of their players.
No, he's got to go, right?
Obviously, they don't have a big man, and they have some good guards, but they are not playing to the best of their ability. He is just, I don't know. I don't get it. I think he might be out the door at the end of the season.
I think so.
To be honest with you, he should be. Because they just, but that first year head coach, they went to the Final Four. But for Clemson, Clemson's got a good team now.
That's not his players, though. Like somebody else recruited and developed them.
Look at their body language. They don't get on the floor. It's just not good. They were down 26 at one time. Come on now. Clemson's not that good.
So Hubert goes under the bus. That's
Absolutely.
good. We got any other coach? Rich, you're always finding a good coach to throw under the bus. Got another one?
You're gonna laugh at this. I'm gonna throw high school coaches under the bus because
Okay.
I've gone to several games and just watch my grandson plays in the middle school and then
I
also the
can
varsity
vouch for
games.
this.
I cannot handle going and watch coaches wear hats coaching a basketball game on backwards. Where the heck have you ever watched a game on TV? You've seen coaches wear hats during a game. It drives me nuts. It disrespects the game. You're playing. I mean, I get it. Football coaches are outside. They wear collared shirts, whatever.
Yeah.
Baseball coaches wear their uniform, but
Right.
basketball coaches wearing hats in the gymnasium. Give me a. It's awful. When COVID came, guys used to wear shirt and ties and jackets. And then COVID came. Now they wear warm-up suits and that type of thing. Okay, they've gone casual. Get the hats off. I can't stand it. It drives me nuts. I was at a middle school game today, and there were two coaches wearing shirt and ties on the opposing team. And I went up to one of the coaches and said, "I'm so proud of you. I love old school. I love it that you're wearing." He smiled. His grin was so wide. He said, "Keep doing it. I mean, it's embarrassment what these other guys are doing. You're doing it the right way." So
And
I'm
then he
going to throw
pulled out
high
his
school
baseball
coaches
cap and
under the
turned it on
bus.
backward. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
This has
And then he pulled out his baseball cap, turned it on
No,
backwards,
I would have
and coached.
taken it off if he did that. I wouldn't take it off. But a guy, here's an assistant coach coaching a game with his hat on. He's got it turned on backwards. Please stop. I can't handle it anymore.
There you go, Rich.
You
Get
There you
off
go,
my
Rich.
lawn. Get off
No,
my
I'm with you
lawn.
on that one, Rich.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've softened my stance a bit. I'm done with the kids these days, so like whatever. But I get you. I feel you. I thought you were gonna go a totally different direction. I thought you were gonna
What'd
throw
you
them under
think I
the
was
bus
going?
because they didn't know how to coach or something. But
No, I wouldn't throw
because
coaches under the bus for that. Only
the only
Calipari and Davis for that.
The only thing I'd say that you might throw them under the bus for if you watched a lot of high school basketball right now is just the misuse of personnel. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of social media and they're trying to emulate something or what it is, but if you've got a 6'7" or bigger kid in high school, he does not need to be playing point forward like LeBron. Post that man up or run him in the high post and win basketball games. Play winning
Correct.
basketball.
I totally
He's got
agree.
all summer to go develop as a wing and try to
Correct.
get recruited. But your job is to put the team in a position to win. And if you're letting your guy run, point because you're trying to get him recruited and you're costing your team wins, that's just stupid.
It's a
And
mistake.
so,
That's huge. And what ends up happening is sometimes coaches in today's world listen to parents barking at them, and
yep,
they give in. That's a
yep,
huge mistake. And you're so right, Justin. You got to put your kids in the position for them to play to the best of their ability and be
yes,
successful. And some
yes,
mom telling you that because her son's only going to be able to play at the next level if he plays in the perimeter is garbage. It's garbage. It shouldn't
Maybe
happen.
we just hit on something that we need to spend a couple more minutes on.
I'm into
What
it.
is the job of a high school basketball coach? It sounds like they're hearing different things. What do you think?
Well,
Rich?
the high school basketball coach's job is not to take Johnny and make him to play able to play at the next level and not worry about the
Okay.
rest of the team. His job is to put his kids in
Yes,
they play to the best of their own ability. The
yes,
job as any coach is to find out what makes each player play to the best of their ability. We got to get
yes,
inside their head and find out what makes it. You might have to yell at one kid, you
right,
might have to hug
yes,
another one, but you got to
yep,
find out what makes them play to the best. Sometimes it takes longer. Maybe it takes
yep,
part of a season to figure that out. Sometimes you can find out right away. But when
yep,
some parents sitting there going, "Well, we need to play a more of an up-tempo game because my kid needs to have better stats," stop. End it. End of the conversation. We're not
yep,
going there. That's not
yep,
happening. We're playing. This is high school basketball. If your son or daughter is good enough to play at the next level, it'll happen. Coaches
yes.
will see it. They're not looking at stats.
No.
I went to a small Division
And if
two
they are,
school.
they're looking at them within context. So if you
Yeah.
average 23 a game, they're going to go, oh, well, hell, their team only averaged 47.
Right.
Like that means more. If you average 80 a game as a team and you average 23, it doesn't mean as much,
Well, and to be honest with you, Justin, they don't really stat-wise,
No, they don't care. They're looking at
no.
skills and raw
They don't
ability.
care how many points you score. You made all region, all state. There was a guy years ago, a sports writer, who made up a name of a player and stats, and the kid became a high school American. The kid didn't even exist.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So I mean, it's garbage. All the points and everything. It's
Yeah.
they want it in today's world. You can see anybody on Huddle and find out what they look like. They don't go in. I mean, they do go in person, but they can find out a lot about a player. And that they you talk about the competition isn't good enough at the private school level. That's garbage too. Zion Williams played at a small Division II school in Skeeza, South Carolina Independent School Association, #1 pick overall. The Wilson girl, who's #1 player in the WA, played at Heathwood Hall, another private school in South Carolina. So get away from the competition being this is only going to get my kid to the next level. Portugal, another private school, 2 guys from the same school in the NBA playing right now.
Yep.
So, did they not be recruited because they went to a small private school? No.
Well, I mean, most of the recruiting is not happening at their high school games anyway.
That's correct.
I mean, that's just in
exactly
any sport. Because why are you going to go to a high school game where there's 2 kids worth seeing that can play at your level when you can go see them in the summer and everybody on the court could play for you?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just that's silly. For me, I think, Bob, to answer your question, twofold is to put the kids in the position to be successful individually, and it's to put the team in the best position to be successful.
And it's
when
not
you put
always the
those
5 best kids on the floor.
No,
It's the kids that play well together.
It's putting the team in a position to be successful.
Yeah.
And you understand what your role is in that and perform it to the best of your ability, then things will go well for everyone.
And the coach has to explain that, he has to communicate to the players their role. They have to understand that. Our feeling was there's 3 primary scorers on your team. The other 2 kids are going to be your role players for you. Handle the ball, play solid defense, get on the floor, take charges. They'll get their points, but there's 3 primary scorers. Too many times, all this ESPN stuff, sorry, Bob, in terms of who's the highest scorer. I mean, everything is about scoring. There's more. That's part of the game. Yes, that's obviously how you win games, by outscoring the opponent. But there's so much more pieces to the game than just scoring. Rebounding, defending, value the ball, don't turn the ball over. I mean, there's so many things that go into it.
Good decision making. Like, you don't see, there's no column in the box score that says decision making, but that's the #1 thing that you're looking for as a coach is, do you shoot it when you should? Do you pass it when you should? Do you, dribble into a trap? Like, do you make good decisions? And if you understand the game and make good decisions, then you're usually going to be successful.
Well, even like you watch college basketball sometimes, and teams are pressing. Where's the first player guys are running? To the corner.
Yeah.
The worst place you could go. It's the absolute worst place you can go, to the corner with the sideline and the baseline. At that level,
You've added 2 defenders.
That should not happen at all. Or dribble down the sideline. You feeling pressure, you dribble down the sideline. Today I was watching middle school, so I realized these are 7th and 8th graders. They get the ball, they feel a little pressure, and immediately they want to go right back to the top. No, play to the basket. Play to the basket. Don't go back to the top. You get the ball from the point to the wing, and now we're going to throw it right back to the top. Attack the basket. Sure, we should reverse the ball, skip passes, and so forth. But I don't think players today are students of the game. They just see highlight reels and video games, and they're not students of the game. They don't know time and score. Every dead ball situation, should be looking at the clock and see what the score is in time.
That's a real thing. The kids don't watch games. They watch highlights and they watch social media clips.
Yeah.
They're not students of the game.
Justin, we have unleashed the beast.
Rich is
going off tonight.
I think we need to get Rich back in the gym. He needs to be coaching.
I think we need to get him a cowboy hat, because that's what the guy ought to be wearing on the sidelines. A coach with a cowboy hat. How good would that be? Huh?
I mean, I coached wrestling at McCracken Middle School this year with a coach who wore a cowboy hat and cowboy boots to every match.
Oh
It was
my
great,
God.
Coach Jerry. Well, it's wrestling.
Great
Wrestling's a
stuff.
different beast. Wrestling's a
Okay.
Hey,
different
All
beast.
right. I'll understand that somehow.
we'll find a new bus to throw Jimmy Butler under. When we come
Oh.
back and talk a little NBA, it's time for Under the Bus, continuing, brought to you by Hudson'sOnTheDocks.com. Welcome back to Under the Bus, brought to you by Hudson's on the Docks, great restaurant on Hilton Head Island. You don't see Curry; he is he's not with us tonight because of technical difficulties. Curry is fine; he's not sick. He just can't. He didn't go to the proper
it wasn't
fast
working.
food place to find a good internet connection. So
As
without
he
Curry
said,
tonight, we'll
this
get him back.
one's not working. That's what it boils down to. This one's not
right.
working.
All right. So will Jimmy Butler work for his new team? Our last show was right before the trade deadline. Butler finally did get dealt. What do you think, Rich? Is he going to help somebody win something?
I think, he'll fit in at Golden State. I mean, he's had 2 games. He's done fairly well. Curry's kind of a guy that I think open arms with somebody like that coming in. I think he could definitely help them. Can they win it all? No, I don't think so. But I think he'll help them. He's a little bit of a head case. When things are going well for him, he's really good. When things aren't going well, so Curry's smart enough to pump him up. Obviously, he's going to get his share of shots. Of course, Curry's going to get his share of shots too. But it'll definitely help them. I think Dallas is the one that's intriguing because, Anthony Davis unfortunately got hurt the first game, but you see what he did in the first quarter?
Yeah,
It was crazy.
had
What
like
he did in
20
the first
points or
quarter.
something, right?
Yeah, he had like 14 points, 11 rebounds. It was
Yeah,
not. It was off the
because
charts.
he had like 20 and 16 or something when he got hurt, right?
Right.
Something crazy like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's definitely, the thing about it is, he is 31. So how many more quality years does he have? Who knows? But he gets hurt a lot too. So
He
but
does, and that's why I was kind of like, I don't know, the whole rationale for
yeah,
trading Luka was he's hurt all the time, right? Well, you traded him for a dude who's also
right,
hurt all the time, but 6 years older.
right,
So
right.
I don't know. It
Well, I
seems like a
think Dallas
LeBron,
weird,
look,
weird trade to me.
wanted
look
for it
who,
because of his defense. I mean,
yeah.
offensively, obviously he can score. Luka
Yeah,
can score too, but I think it was for his defense. And
yeah.
defense wins championships, as
He
they
he
say.
is an
Look what
exceptional
Philly
rim
did.
defender. Yeah,
Yeah. So,
exceptional rim defender.
but it's sad that all these guys getting hurt. Embiid's hurt again. He's only played 15. He's missed 15 games already this year. I didn't realize he only played in 39 games last year. The guy gets hurt. He plays one game and he has to
Yeah,
sit out 3. Then he plays one
Yeah.
game. So and then
yeah, yeah. And I question, I'm sure, Coach, I've said it a lot of times already in my relatively brief time coaching relative to you. I'm sure you explained the difference between hurt and injured a few times, and sometimes I wonder about him.
well, yeah. Well, yeah, guys taking that time off. When they say they're
Yeah,
resting or whatever. I mean, I
yeah.
Load
understand it's a
management.
long
Load
season.
management.
It's a long season. They do a lot of traveling in the NBA, but come on, they
Come
get
on.
paid a heck of a lot of money to rest. So I don't know. I mean, LeBron's
Looks
40
like Luka and LeBron are getting along pretty well.
so
They're
far.
cooking pretty
So
good.
far. I mean, what
You
they're
notice
like
what their uniform numbers add up to, don't you?
what?
77 and 23, 100.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
And they're getting 100%
I will
out
say
of those
though,
two guys.
I do got to throw Luca under the bus though, because the white T-shirt under the gold Lakers jersey is just a bad look. It's so bad.
Well,
Rough.
they
What do
don't.
we get him? What color you get him instead, Justin? He wants to
I
wear the
don't know.
T-shirt.
Gold.
Yeah, gold, I guess.
It's
But
supposed to match your jersey. I don't know about in high school. It has to match your jersey. So
Yep.
NFL and
the white
NBA,
looks so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
He doesn't.
But yeah, matching the jersey would definitely be a better look.
For sure.
You were talking about how long guys could play. LeBron this week scored 40 against Golden State. He is now the youngest and the oldest player in the NBA history to score 40 points. He did it when he was
phenomenal.
19, and he did it when he was older. Michael is the only other one over 40 to score 40, and LeBron is now older than Michael was, when he was done playing.
That's a pretty good like microcosm of LeBron's career, right? Like, I mean, nobody has ever come into the league with as much hype as him and actually met it and sustained it for the entirety of his career. Like he's incredible to me. Anybody who bad talks LeBron, I have a hard time with it. I mean, about individual, like not you, Rich. I understand in the moment he makes mistakes, but big picture wise, like, I mean, he's what we want him all to be. Like
he's really good for the game, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, but shouldn't he be?
He's done a lot of good.
Enough to say to his son, like, I mean, I do respect LeBron's ability. His ability is amazing. He's unbelievable, especially even at the age of 40. What he can do is incredible. Yeah. But
no, you're right.
Please
the
get
nepotism
Bronny
thing
out of there,
clownish,
please, by the name of you know what?
That's
I think we can all agree to that.
Yeah,
he has
that's
no business
absolutely
being on
clownish.
an NBA team. Come on.
He's stealing a roster spot from somebody who actually deserves it. Yeah, it's stupid. You're right. That's
any last folks under the bus for anybody, Rich?
Yes, I do. I have one just going back to the Super Bowl, the halftime
He's got a list.
show. Yeah. Kendrick Lamar. How bad was that? Now
I have to
looked up
disagree.
the median age of people watching the Super Bowl now is 49 years old. Who in the name of at 49 wants to watch that garbage? Please,
I'm only 46, but I'm actually a Kendrick fan.
Okay.
I thought.
How many can we count on one? How many can we count, Justin? 10 Kendrick fans at the age of over 46.
Well, we just complained about kids not watching sports, and let me tell you that everybody under 40. Way more people under 40 know who Kendrick Lamar is.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
But like, I got into this a little bit with my family, but I was like, look, when it was Tom Petty a few years ago, like we're all like, everybody knows Tom Petty. No, most white people know Tom Petty. Like, that's it. Like, so like, my thing is like the world's a lot bigger than what we see around us. Kendrick Lamar is a massive superstar. He's a Pulitzer Prize winning poet. He is an activist really for our for this generation in a lot of ways. And I thought the symbolism of the halftime show was beautiful. I thought Samuel L. Jackson was amazing. I thought Serena was amazing. I disagree. I think it's just that you either get it or you don't. And it's not right or wrong.
Well,
and if you don't get it, that's okay. But if you get it, you're like, oh, okay.
How many people under the age of 40?
Very few.
Are watching the Super Bowl. I mean, they're watching the Super Bowl, don't get me wrong.
Oh, no, they're watching
it. Mostly it's older people like Bob and I that are watching the game.
Yeah, but all of you go to get something to eat and drink during the halftime show because we don't care about that. But there are a bunch of people who do not care about the football game, but they are tuned in for that Super Bowl show or halftime show because they love Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. There were people, first of all, 1 out of every 3 Americans watched the Super Bowl. That's a pretty amazing number.
Incredible number.
You wonder what the other 2 were doing. But anyway, 1 out of every 3 was watching the Super Bowl. There were people in that building that would have been a better halftime show, though. And we saw them in the pregame. The Southern University Marching Band would have been awesome.
It would have been
brought
incredible.
Down the house.
And I told you guys that the Saints stunk this year, but New Orleans still won the Super Bowl. That would have been the kicker. Because you're right. That Southern marching band is unreal. Let Southern and Grambling both get out there and just go to town.
Any of the HBCUs, their marching bands are fantastic. Right. And
my wife got a text from someone that showed the 1958 halftime show of the championship game, and these girls twirling a baton
Yeah.
doing the
Yeah.
show. You got to look.
Yeah.
If you can see that, it's funny as heck to think
So
how far they come from there to now.
right. And it was actually a fairly recent thing. I actually listened to a podcast on this. Pablo Torre Finds Out, one of my favorite podcasts. They did a whole piece on kind of how the Super Bowl halftime thing became a big show. And it all started because it was always something lame like that, right? Like the twirlers or whatever.
Right.
And one year in Minneapolis, they had for the halftime show, it was like a tribute to winter. And it was a preview for the Winter Olympics, and they had like these figure skaters and stuff, and nobody cared about it, right? So Fox, upstart Fox, plans counter programming for the first time opposite Super Bowl halftime, and they did an In Living Color live sketch show during halftime, and they made it very clear, like, we know you're leaving in 20 minutes or whatever, like, but stay with us for now. And it made the networks realize that they had to do something to retain that audience,
Right.
or they were going to lose all that ad revenue from halftime. And so they had to come up with an idea, and they made it a spectacle, and it's just grown and grown since then. But I thought that was really interesting that they didn't care about halftime until somebody tried to take it over, and then they had to.
Well, I just want them going forward is they need to think about old farts like Bob and I to come up with some artists that we heard of or would enjoy. Because now I walk out of the TV room and go someplace until the halftime show's over. I can't.
Well, if you understood Not Like Us, and the fact that it is a song that was written purely to diss Drake and put him on blast for a bunch of stuff that Kendrick accused him of, and it won all the Grammys, and he walked out there and he said Drake's name and he made all those accusations, and then he said a minor, and the world went crazy because it was insane. So if you knew all the ins and outs, you would appreciate the Kendrick Lamar performance.
Maybe I would. Maybe you would.
All right. Well, we'll bring Curry in. I'm sure he had some thoughts about.
I'm sure he loved it. I'm sure he loved it.
I'm sure he loved it. He was all over it. We'll throw Curry under the bus one last time for that, and we will see you all next week. We'll get Curry back, we hope, and throw a whole lot of folks under the bus now that football season's over. Curry's really going to be in his element because it's going to be hoop mania. Stay with us. For Rich and Justin, I'm Bob Stevens. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Under the bus.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Under the Bus is a production of the Lowco Media Network and is filmed on the Hilton Head Island campus of the University of South Carolina, Beaufort. The executive producer is Justin Jarrett, with assistance from Trey Ramsey, Mahogany Hickman, and Adam Carroll.